Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. It's good to be back. I finally have power again. Man, I apologize. We wanted to do our Talking Jets stream last Tuesday, and because of the storm, got knocked out. Did not have power for like 2.5 days. Was not not fun. Luckily, we had water, but no AC, no nothing like that. So, guys, I've had a hell of a week. I'm looking forward to just venting a little bit and talking some Jets with you guys. Who we got in the chat? We got Steven, Lame Cactus, Evan. We got Minecraft Adventurer, Joe S. My buddy, what's up, dude? Andrew P. Ben Stahl. Jack. JTS, Jets. Hey, Ryan. What's up, dude? Garkis, Bloodlust. Remember, every other team is on equal footing with us going through this pandemic. So it's all okay. Chloe W. Christopher Levington. No censorship. What's up, guys? Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Got a great show in store for you. We got something to talk about. Got a little bit more of the player opt-outs. It's finally over. No more players are going to be opting out at this point. I believe it was a total of 69. 69 players opted out this year with everything going on. And obviously, the Jets are going to be without C.J. Mosley this year. One of the best players on our team, arguably the best currently, if you're going on a 3-quarter sample size. Guys, if you want to win your shot at a hat, shirt, or mug, we did just add the impeached shirts as well as the Seattle got fleeced hoodies, shirts, all that good stuff. We got the In Joe We Trust. If you guys want to win any one of these shirts, any one of them, make sure you do the following. It's going to be our question of the day, but it's not really so much our question of the day. It's going to be this. This stream is simulcasting on Facebook. Let's see how many people I can get to do this. Share this stream to a Jets page that you follow, any one of them, and just kind of... actually, no, don't do that, because then I wind up getting spammed. I shouldn't spam it. All right. Let's do this. I don't know. I got nothing. I didn't think of anything before the stream. All right. Let's do this. Let's say... let's go to my Facebook page. And if you haven't liked it, make sure you like it or follow it. It's going to help grow the channel. And then leave a comment. Just leave a comment on the page so that way I can find it and know that you guys are entered into it. It could be something nice. It could be something, whatever. Just leave a comment. All right. College players want to play a full season, says Evan. This is something we're going to be diving into for sure. It sounds like there's... I don't believe there's going to be a college football season. I really don't think there is. I understand the pros and the NFL having a season, but I don't think collegiate athletes who are not getting paid, yes, they are getting the education portion of it, and some people will argue that that is more than enough for what they're currently doing, but I don't believe schools are going to take that risk of having players out on the field and then potentially contracting something. God forbid someone dies. It would be absolutely brutal. I actually saw a study done. Now, this was a very small sample size. This was only 60 people, so take this with a little grain of salt. But I did see something. I should pull up the link, but it was along the lines of 55% of those who have had COVID-19 3 months later are still showing neurological issues. So if you're wondering why all these NFL players are opting out, one of those reasons, not just the fact that you could die from the disease, but have lingering neurological issues. That is absolutely huge. If you're telling me I have a 50% chance of having something wrong with me for an extended period of time, especially when my career is only like 3 to 4 years long, and because of that neurological issue, you could potentially be cut from a team or not be able to make your livelihood, it starts to make a little more sense. So, just something to think of. Oh, it looks like everyone's going crazy with the Rangers. Let's see. Let's go Rangers, #1 pick. Is that true? Rangers get the number 1 pick? I have no idea what's going on. I have not watched much hockey. Glad they showed the lottery drawing for the NHL. Oh, cool. I guess that's awesome. That is that's cool. I'm excited for that. I wish I knew more about hockey than I do. I don't have any sort of knowledge aside from like just really enjoying the games that I've gone to. Let's see what else we got. Only Bon Jovi can pull that off. The hell are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see. Burnt Dice says, I'm starting to get on the bandwagon of not signing anyone and just rolling over the money. See? This is something that I've talked about many times. A lot of people want to go after Jadeveon Clowney, Logan Ryan, all these other potential free agents that could be out there. I'm not rolling that dice. I'm not rolling that die. I think it makes way more sense for the Jets to roll with who we got. Just kind of see what we have for next season, and then all of a sudden you roll that money over into next year. I believe we're sitting around $30 million right now. I think we're at $29 million. I think we're in the top 5 in terms of cap space. But if you roll that money over, if the salary cap does drop from $200 million down to $175 million, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. You get the $25 million from this year, and you basically just fill in the void that it would have caused next year, and then you wind up. I think we have $50 million for next year, so that's going to be huge. It's going to be a big offseason for the Jets. Obviously, the 2 first-round picks from the Jamal Adams deal, and then you have 2 third-round picks, I believe 2 fifth-round picks, and man, we are going to have so much to talk about. So much! All right, guys, remember, if you want your shot to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, go over to my Facebook page. There's a link in the description down below. Go over to that. Just leave a comment, and then that'll get you entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. What else we got going on? FM, you're missing out, Ryan, on the NHL. They're not little girls like the NBA players. Oh, I don't doubt that. I have watched a little bit of hockey. I went to my first hockey game this past winter, and it was a friggin' blast. It was absolutely incredible. I just don't know all the rules. I don't have enough time to devote that much brain power to figuring out all the stuff that I've been able to figure out with like the NFL and all that sort of stuff. But I do enjoy watching it. I just don't wind up watching many sports at home other than football. So if I'm out at a bar, which isn't happening right now, or hanging out with buddies, I'm all about watching it. All right, let's see. Evan says, best quarterbacks in 5 years, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz. I think Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and I think Carson Wentz. Those are probably the 3 locks. I think you could throw in Lamar Jackson, assuming he stays healthy that long. I think he should. I mean, the guy barely slid at all last year and stayed healthy, so I think he'll be all right. Look, Sam Darnold and Kyler Murray, those are the 2 that you hope to see progress further. I believe in Sam. I think he's going to be really friggin' good. It's just a matter of kind of waiting and seeing that actually happen. This is a big evaluation year. I wouldn't be surprised if Gase got the axe. JD will always say the right thing, but he knows. TJ Decker saying that. Now, it would not shock me to see the Jets move on from Adam Gase at all. Now, when you look at the salary cap space that we're going to have for next year, given the rest of the teams, and you say, hey, we're going to have 2 first-round picks, 2 third-round picks, 2 fifth-round picks, along with our other picks, that is going to be huge, and that's going to be a way for the Jets to attract head coaching candidates. And I don't know who could be out there. I know a lot of people brought up Eric Bieniemy. He's going to be a hot name for sure. Honestly, I want to see a really good season from the Jets, and I want to see Adam Gase actually stay the Jets head coach because he has earned it, because he has shown the growth with Sam, has shown the offense has been able to kind of figure it out. That's ultimately what I want to see. I do not want to see Sam Darnold under another head coach, another offensive coordinator. I think we're just kind of wasting him away, and that's really not what I want to have happen. So, fingers crossed there. Let's see. With 10 picks in 2021, do you think we will acquire more? It seems JD likes picks, especially next year's draft. Next year's draft is going to be such a crapshoot if there's no college football season that it's going to be tough. You have good players are going to wind up falling later than they should. Bad players are going to wind up going higher than they should. And then you have you know, everyone on equal footing. Now the Jets just get 2 cracks at this potential, good or bad player with the 2 first-round picks. It wouldn't shock me to see the Jets trade down and just try to take more darts to throw at the dartboard. Now, ideally, I would love to see, whether it be a cornerback, an edge rusher, a wide receiver, a running back. Those would be like the 4 kind of positions I'd be eyeing early in the draft and in free agency. It's going to kind of depend on how things sort of shake out. I'm big on the Juju Smith-Schuster train or the Allen Robinson train in free agency. I think with the money we have, it would make sense to kind of allocate some there. By the time that number 1 receiver is kind of fading out of his contract, Mims hopefully will be progressing far enough where you want to give him a bigger contract and you don't have 2 lopsided deals at once. Now that said, if there was a really good wide receiver, I would not shy away from the Jets pulling the trigger on that. I do think we still need a guard. I don't think we are fully there yet. I think for me, I've said this before, Juju or Robinson and Thuney from the Patriots. I don't believe he's going to stay on the Patriots next year. I think he is prime pickings for the Jets. I think we were going to throw a ton of money at him this year had he hit free agency, and that would be my 2 guys I'd try to target pretty hard. I've heard there's going to be some good edge rushers. Let's see if I could pull this up real quick. See what we could find in terms of edge rushers in free agency for next year, because I don't know who's actually going to be there. Go 3-4 D end. Is it shown this year or next year? I think this is this year. Okay, next year. Let's see what we got. That is Dak Prescott. That is not not what I'm looking for. All right, let's see. We got Yannick again. Obviously, he's on the franchise tag this year. You got Melvin Ingram. Justin Houston. He's going to be a lot older than. I didn't even realize Melvin Ingram's as old as he is. He's 32 also. Solomon Thomas is going to be 26, but I believe that's going into his 5th-year option. So I don't know where that stands. I would think. I guess they would have had to exercise it already, right? Man, I have no idea who I would take. I think edge rusher is probably going to be someone that I would prefer to kind of gamble on in the draft, not so much at free agency. Let's see. You guys say Bell for MVP? Or one guy's saying Bell for MVP. Says Ben. I love Le'Veon Bell. I'm still 110% behind Bell. I think I would have still made the signing that we did that year. I still would have done that, but I probably would have allocated the money that we gave towards Mosley and tried to improve the offensive line. I think that was the big misfire by McCagnon last year, and that's ultimately what kind of did him in. He didn't help Sam Darnold. JetLife45 says we need wide receiver depth. Faux show. That's true. You figure Perriman's on a 1-year contract. We don't know if we're going to bring him back next year. You got Mims, Crowder. I think we do use our tight ends well, so Herndon and Griffin are both going to be very, very attractive options as weapons. Bell, I don't know what to think of for next year. I think he's probably going to get cut. I guess it depends on who you think you could get. If the salary cap does drop and a ton of free agents wind up flooding the market because teams have to get under that salary cap threshold, that could get interesting. And then we might want to cut Bell to get some of that money freed up. ETN or whatever, the running back from Clemson, that's the guy I would like. He's going to go high, though. I don't know if the Jets are going to really want to spend that high of a draft pick on someone like a running back. Joe S. says desperate need for a wide receiver. Hopefully the undrafted free agents we got will step up. Fingers crossed. I don't usually put too much stock in the undrafted free agents, but Huff, Cager, those are 2 guys that you hope could kind of shine a little bit. Might be some gems, kind of finding like our Robbie Anderson, where you don't really pay him a whole lot and you get a nice return. Le'Veon Bell, 4% body fat. That is true. I saw that tweet the other day, or not tweet. I think it was an Instagram post. Absolutely wild. Guy's friggin' jacked. Did anyone see the picture of Bless Austin? Oh my God, the guy, it looks like he doesn't have an ounce of body fat on him. If physical appearance was an indicator on how good you would be, Jets would be pretty good. We'd have, Vernon Golston, and who do we have? We had LaRon Landry for a little bit. All those guys that were just absolute workout warriors. Hopefully, our players wind up showing it on the field as well. Jet Life says, thanks for the shout out. You're welcome, Jet Life 45. Liking that silver jet you got there. It's got to be getting close to a gold jet, I would think. You've been a member for a little while now. Joe S., same with you. Guys, if you want to become a member of the Jets Talk channel, there is a link in the description down below. If you go to, I don't even remember what the tiers are now, but I'm going to be starting my Pick'em League for how many, we're going to see who wins each week. And every week I'll say who's the winner or who's in the lead once we do that. So I'll keep your eyes peeled for that. I really got to set that up. I just got the email from CBS. It's going to be through CBS Sports, I think is how I've run this in the past. I would like to do a... I shook my beer up. I would like to do a fantasy football league, but I want to try and find something that we could do almost like a DraftKings or like a FanDuel style where we could all pick the same players if we wanted to, but then you just kind of score it each week. I just don't know if there is a way to do that. If you guys do know a way to do that, I'm all about trying to do it in that kind of fashion, because I think we're going to have too many people that want to join the Fantasy Football League. So rather than just saying, hey, the first 12 that get in, or the first 11, if I'm including myself, then we could actually have a whole bunch more fun with this. All right, what are you guys spamming in there? Let's see. What are your thoughts on the SEC thinking of having their own season and pulling out teams from other conferences? I don't really care. I guess they don't play much of a season anyway. They wind up playing a cupcake schedule, and then they have a few hard teams thrown in there. You get like Clemson or, maybe 2 other division games or conference games. I don't know. I'd like to see them not play softballs. I just don't think you're going to get enough teams. Well, I guess you'll get some of the smaller teams where they get to really highlight the players, and then they get to sell tickets because, some small school wants to get thumped on national television by Alabama. I don't know. I don't find it very interesting. I think the best games in college football are the ones that are the games of the week. That's why I don't have a favorite college team. I like college players. Like there's certain players that I'll kind of watch from year to year, but I think the college product on a game-by-game basis is pretty terrible. And aside from like highly matched up games, those are the fun ones. You can kind of feel the energy in the crowd. You really can do everything. You can do DraftKings $1 buy-ins. I can burnt dice. The issue is that's only going to be for people in New Jersey and other states that you can gamble in. I don't think anyone in New York would be able to actually do that. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if DraftKings like that actually works. I don't think it does. Who knows? How far do you think Sam Darnold can throw football? Says Jets fan 110. Far enough to get it into Denzel Mims' hands. I have no idea. Evan says Darnold's ceiling is 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Holy crap! No way, dude. His ceiling, sure. Okay. But I could see Sam getting 5,000 yards in the future, like way down the line. If I can get like 3,700 yards. If I get I think if Sam plays all 16 games, I think he'll get 4,000 yards. And then I think he'll break our passing touchdown record, which is 30 by Fitzpatrick. I don't think we'll ever see a sub-10 interception season from Sam. I think he's just too much of a gunslinger. I think you're really going to see some high interceptions there. But you got to take the good with the bad. And he's pretty good at like knowing when to take his shots. Sometimes I can't say that all the time. V-Man. Thank you for the super chat. He says, hey, with all the opt-outs in New England, has it changed your thoughts on how the AFC East will pan out? I'm taking a win off their total. Yeah, look, I would take a win off their total, I think. Now, it's hard for me to say beyond a shadow of a doubt. Would they have 9 opt-outs or 10 opt-outs? But one of them being Patrick Chung, Dante Hightower. They have some big players that are not going to be on that team for the season, and you have to think that's going to affect them in the win-loss column. No Tom Brady, no Gronkowski. I believe they're on some backup offensive linemen too. They're going to be in some rough shape. Now, if you put your tinfoil hat on, you could say, oh, no, Trevor Lawrence, they're trying to tank for him. I can tell you right now, it's very hard to tank in the NFL. Now, the owners or the GMs or whatever, they could throw out some players that don't have a shot at winning games, and that's how you can say they could win. But I don't think any player is going to willingly opt out to tank a season. I don't think, at least. Who knows? Anytime I watch the Patriots do something, I see it happen with like a lot of frequency, my mind starts thinking, like, this doesn't make sense. Now, here's what I think, and it's something we got to see with C.J. Mosley. When C.J. Mosley opted out, we paid out his $10 million this year. Next year, his cap hit's only going to be $7.5 million. So, are the Patriots having a bunch of players opt out? I don't believe so. But if they have a bunch of players opt out and they eat some of that cap hit this year, and next year they have a much lighter cap hit in a season where the cap is going to drop, is this a strategic move by Belichick? You could get me on board with that. It would not shock me to see Belichick kind of work the system this way, because these guys are going to get their money that they would have gotten anyway. It's not like it takes any of their guaranteed money away. I find that interesting. Joe Douglas has addressed needs more in one offseason than McCagnon did in 5 years, says TJ. Yeah, that's true. Man, we stink under McCagnon. JETS mess over the mountain like Napoleon Dynamite's uncle. Burnt Dice says, I could see Sam having a Brett Favre type career. Yeah, I would say similar. I think he'll play smarter than Favre, but definitely a gunslinger style mentality. I think maybe more of a Tony Romo, hopefully with a Super Bowl though. Fingers crossed, right? Will Mims be a Pro Bowler one day? Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'd like to believe so. There's not many options on the Jets in terms of who you could really pass the ball to in terms of wide receivers. And if there's someone that could grow, look, Bell's not going to grow with Sam more than 1 or 2 more years. Herndon hopefully will grow with them. I think Crowder after next year is probably going to be off the team. I think we'll probably try to find some way to replace him. I hope Mims will be a Pro Bowler. He's really good. Jet Life. I'm not worried about the CJ opt-out again. Joe D did a great job bringing in depth at linebacker. We got guys who can start and be solid contributors on defense. That's true. Peanut and Avery Williamson. I am so glad we did not get rid of Avery. I really like Avery a lot, and I thought for sure we were going to cut him back at the start of the new league year. And, man, we got lucky with that. I'm still going to stick to my guns with the whole Brian Winters thing. I think it was maybe not the best cut now. I still would have cut him before the season. But I would have liked to have that insurance in terms of, if an offensive lineman goes down or something like that. I think he signed with Buffalo for like $3 million. So Buffalo just takes all the Jets' offensive linemen. They had Spencer Long. Now they got Brian Winters. They got some depth on that offensive line over there now, I guess. I don't like the Bills. They look very strong. They have one of the stronger young cores in the league right now, so they are going to be very tough. Very, very tough. Where's Eli? I don't know. Not sure. Eli's right behind you. Who is our number 1 wide receiver in your opinion? It's got to be Perriman to start, I think, just because he's got some NFL experience. I think Mims is going to take the lion's share of the number 2 reps, but I don't see Sam Darnold as a quarterback that's going to overly favor one particular target. I think he's going to use his tight ends. I think he's going to use Bell. I think he's going to use Crowder across the middle. Like I think he likes between the hashes more than he likes, some eye-popping numbers that you might see out of like a Mike Evans or a any one of the, like a Hopkins or any of those kind of guys. Just my thoughts. What is the logo on the mug for? The logo on the mug. Which one? There's 2 mugs. So one, the New York Jets with the little thing with the eyes. That is the Jets Discord logo. There's a Jets Discord. If you like talking Jets and you want to kind of get a little more conversation going, there's a link to that in the description down below. The other one, the Ghost, right there. The Ghost, obviously, Sam Darnold. He's seeing ghosts. But you know what? Like Tyrion Lannister said, and I'm going to butcher this quote, wear your weakness like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you. Basically, if we embrace the things that have hurt us and have, shown to be maybe a weakness or something like that, or things that other people could use against you, if you kind of, I don't want to say feed into it, but if you kind of, wear it as armor, it can't be used to hurt you. People just can't. They'll just, sticks and stones, that kind of thing. But yeah, Jets Discord logo. Guys, if you want your chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store tonight, all you have to do is leave a comment on the Jets Talk Facebook page. That link is in the description down below. Leave a comment there, and then I will raffle something off at the end of the show. Yeah! 8:30, we're going to go to the phones. We got like 1 minute. JJ, do you think we got a shot to trade for Yannick Ngakoue? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. I think as much as I like Ngakoue, I think it's a lot of money, and I don't think we want to spend that money. I think we're going to roll it over into next year. It's too high of a risk to run on a season that may not actually be happening, or maybe not to the full extent. Not to mention you can't sign him to a long-term deal. So you're going to bring him in, pay him the $18-19 million franchise tag, and then he might have to walk at the end of the year, or you have to sign him to a mega deal, or you have to franchise tag him for $27 million. Not happening. I'll tell you that right now. Tyson Man says, "Sup, Ryan? Excited to call in. That's what I want to hear. I like it. The only move I would want to make is Logan Ryan. Now, the Jets did put a waiver wire claim in for a cornerback that I believe the Browns wound up getting one slot ahead of the Jets. So the Jets are actively looking for some type of cornerback help. So Logan Ryan seems to make kind of the most sense, but apparently he sees himself as more of a safety. I don't see the Jets going the safety route here. Sam led the NFL with 141.0 quarterback rating when throwing to tight ends. It says Bud DeSalvo. I didn't know that. I knew he was pretty good throwing to tight ends. That's really high, though. Would you rather have Darnold for 7 more years or Aaron Rodgers for 3? Oh, God, Aaron Rodgers is so friggin' good. I mean, if you have Aaron Rodgers, you're probably making the playoffs, so that would be kind of nice. Sam Darnold for 7, I like that. God, I don't know. I'd probably take Rodgers for 3. I just don't think this roster is built to win now. That's the only thing. Like, Darnold for 7 allows us time to build this roster and hopefully go and compete for a Super Bowl, where I think Rodgers for 3, while he may be able to get you into the playoffs, I don't know if this roster can actually help him win one. I don't know. Just my thoughts. All right, guys. Let's go to the phones. Let's see what's going on. Put the phone number up on the screen. Bam! Let's hear your thoughts on all things Jets.
Call from
Chris from Florida.
to accept.
Hey, what's good, Chris? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's going on, guys, and my fellow Jet Nation followers? Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video if you can.
Yeah! That a boy, Chris. How you feeling tonight?
Oh man, that weather was crazy, man. I was in that heck of a storm.
Dude, I lost power. Okay, story time real quick. I lost power at home. My job, for those of you that don't know, I work at a golf course. I run a golf course, and we lost power there, but not full power. We had like half power, so we were able to have the tee sheet up, and like we were able to do some basic operations. But all the heavy lifting machinery, like our walk-in coolers, our ACs, our septic system that had like a pump station, all got knocked out. And I literally had to scoop water out of the koi pond out back. And after people took a dump, I had to dump that water down the toilet just to flush it. Oh man, let me tell you, if I wanted to talk Jets so badly with you guys, I wound up, I was so sad, and then that just compounded everything, and it was just a friggin' miserable week. I did not have a fun week last week, so I am so glad to be back here. Is everything all right with you? Did you wind up losing power or anything like that?
Unfortunately, I'm glad to say that we didn't lose power, but unfortunately, one of these sewer drains ended up getting damaged from a fallen tree, so it ended up affecting the entire apartment complex that I'm at. But luckily, it was happening while I was at work, and my dog was being watched over by my dog. So luckily, they fixed it during the time I was at work. But I was worried a little bit.
That's good, at least. So what's on your mind in terms of Jets stuff?
Yeah, so I wanted to actually bring up the whole drafting situation. I know a lot of people have said, due to the COVID-19 and discussing whether or not we would have college draft picks, we would only have files or video recordings of the past games. Now, I also thought about something. What about those that played for the XFL? I understand that those are players that are either have been trying to stay in football and have just recently left the NFL, or they're still trying to get scouted into the NFL. They just didn't get that chance during the college game. What about scouting one of those players, considering that we may be limited with certain rookies from college? What's your point on or take on that?
That's an interesting thought. I hadn't really considered the XFL, mainly because I consider those players probably more of a demographic that just couldn't make it in the NFL to begin with. So I think that you're really going to want to have... Oh, Tony Lee became a Frequent Flyer member. Thank you, Tony Lee. You're the man. Sorry about that. No, I think the whole the whole college scouting thing is going to be interesting. Not so much the XFL for me, but definitely for the college ranks. Look, the Jets definitely improved their scouting department. Obviously, Joe Douglas is a huge part of that. Phil Savage, the guy that used to run the Reese's Senior Bowl, is absolutely huge in knowing college prospects. And then Todd McShay roomed with Joe Douglas back in college, so they're really close. I know there's been rumors of him possibly coming into the Jets. I don't foresee that. I think he's got a really cushy job, at ESPN or whatever the heck he's doing right now. So I do think the Jets have a lot of ins in terms of knowledge in the college ranks. So I'm not as concerned as I would have been under McCagnon, but it's definitely something to be, to keep an eye on for sure.
Right. I wanted to pick your brain on this because this has actually been upsetting me for a little bit on the whole social media aspect. People saying that the Jets are trying to tank for Trevor Lawrence. I think the kid's name is, the quarterback.
Oh, my God.
Why?
I saw Joe Beningo was saying that, and I can't listen to the guy. Anyone who thinks we're tanking for Trevor Lawrence is an absolute asshat and just trying to get clicks or just trying to, stir the pot. There's no way the Jets are giving up on Sam Darnold. And I've said this before on my show. You have to put every single asset into bettering the team around Sam Darnold, because worst case scenario in 2-3 years, if Sam is not the guy, then the team is loaded up front and ready to take that next quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, for us right now, is not worth it, especially if you had to trade up, because I don't think the Jets are going to be the worst team in the NFL next year. If you had to trade up to get Trevor Lawrence, that is a terrible use of draft assets if you're the New York Jets, and I would be absolutely furious if we did that.
That would totally debacle all the hype that we had gotten that first year from Joe Douglas. I believe I agree with you 100% on that. All right, this is going to be my last question, and I'm going to sign off. My last question is for Le'Veon Bell, who's been nothing but tremendous, trying to show that he is a team player, a leader. He's clearly pissed off. I love that he's getting in boxing shape, because I guess when he gets ready for Seattle, he's going to knock the crud out of Jamal Adams.
I want him to just face plant him down, just run over him. I hope Jamal I hope he doesn't get a sack. I hope nothing good happens to Jamal in that game. I just hope we just kind of steamroll over him specifically.
I agree. So my question for you on Le'Veon Bell is, what more are you expecting from Le'Veon Bell? And as far as his future that could possibly keep him around for the Jets, what is it he's got to do, or what is it we all have to see him do on the field? Jets!
Yeah! Good stuff, dude. Thank you for the call in, as always. Let's say, Le'Veon Bell, for me, he's going to have to do a crazy done. He's going to have a really, really good season for the Jets to really hold on to him next year, especially if the cap winds up dipping down to 175, which is what they're kind of projecting it to be. I think you're going to have to see, if you get 1,200 yards out of Bell on the ground and like another 400 in the air, the Jets will hold on to him. Ooh, sorry, belch. This has got all the bubbles coming up. Yeah, I have a hard time seeing Bell staying on this team beyond this year, but he's really the way he's acting, the way he's training, and like, you know, in the wake of this whole Jamal Adams thing, maybe that sort of helps him. They want to keep the team chemistry around. I would be about it. I have no problem holding on to Bell. I just think that if the rumors are true, that Gase did not want to pay Bell as much as he got. Not to mention, I don't see Douglas as being a guy that wants to pay a ton of money for a running back. I think that sort of leads me to believe that we would move on from Bell. But heck, I thought we were going to move on from Avery Williamson. Thank God we didn't. Now, granted, those contracts are totally different. Avery Williamson, not one of like the top 3 or 4 running backs getting paid, or players at his position getting paid. Not to mention his the way bonuses are structured. Avery Williamson did not have a timeline for when a bonus kicked in. I'm pretty sure Le'Veon Bell, if he's on the Jets roster, let's pull it up. Before I start spouting knowledge or lack thereof, let me just see what Le'Veon Bell's contract actually is. Okay, so 2021, August 1st, he gets a $3 million bonus. So we could hold on to him. It doesn't seem like we're going to be on the hook for that much. If we did want to move on from him, we could save $9.5 million is what I'm reading right here. Yeah, so that $3 million bonus isn't going to kick in until August 1st. So Jets have a little bit of time to kind of decide what they want to do with Le'Veon Bell. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Let's answer some questions. And guys, if you want a chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, make sure you go to the link in the description down below. Go to my Facebook page and leave a comment. And then I will pick one of those comments at the end of the show. And one of you guys are going to get something from the Jets Talk store.
Call from
So let's see.
Liam.
to accept.
Liam, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ron, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. How's your night going?
It's going good. I just got back from Pittsburgh. It was about an 8-hour drive, so I'm kind of a little dreary.
Woof. What were you doing out there?
So my sister goes to college out there, and we were moving into her apartment. And
Ooh,
she's
very cool.
she goes to Carnegie Mellon, and this semester starts in a couple days. So yeah, that's
Nice.
what I've been doing.
Is she taking online classes, or she's like actually like in-person classes now?
No, she's going to classes, which is got to be a little cautious, but it's pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, for sure. Is this her first year going away, or has she been away at school before?
No, this is her sophomore year.
Oh, okay. So she had her freshman year cut short, probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah, she took online classes for like the second semester, like till like March.
Oof, that's rough. All right, what's on your mind in terms of Jet stuff?
All right, this is my only question. Then I'll leave you to get to some other callers. But if you were to pick one guy to have for the next to sign for the next offseason, would you rather have Tooney or Juju? All right, see you later, buddy.
Ooh, good question, dude. Good question. All right, I can definitely say it's going to be Thuney. I like Juju a lot, but protecting Sam and having a stout offensive line for me means a lot. Thuney doesn't miss time. The guy doesn't commit penalties. That would be my pick if I had to pick one. I think we could get both of them, but if I had to pick one, it would be Thuney.
Call from
Eli.
Hey, what's good, Eli? How you doing tonight?
Hey, I just wanted to first of all say that it's become kind of like a joke in chat to everyone say that they're me. First of all, just to make
I was going to
this
say, I
clear,
see a ton of Eli things over there.
just to be clear, I am the lame cactus, all right? So for everyone out there, I'm the lame cactus. So this joke that's been going on for ever since last week, just know that it's me.
Oh, I love it.
All right.
What's on your mind, brother?
So first of all, I was thinking back when I started getting into football, and I realized that you're like the first YouTuber that I actually started watching. I want to thank you for getting me into the Jets.
Oh, thank you, dude. That means a lot. I hope I didn't hurt your. I don't know. If I got you into the Jets, I apologize because there's a lot of sadness coming our way. Hopefully there's more happiness in the future than what I've had to deal with through my Jet fanhood. Although oddly enough, my Jet fanhood from like '95. Well, I mean, I'm saying '95. I was like 5 or 6 years old at the time. Let's say '95 through now has actually been one of the more like productive or like better time periods for the New York Jets. So who knows? Maybe I got you early. Maybe we're gonna win a Super Bowl and you'll be all happy.
Well, my dad's a big Jets fan, so then he was a Jets fan, but I was never really into sports. Then I started getting into football.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like the first YouTuber that actually got me into football, like intensely.
Oh, I'm glad. That's now. What would you say your favorite? Growing up, I always loved the running backs. Is there a certain position you really like watching, or a certain style of player? It doesn't necessarily have to be a Jet player, but in your watching football for however long you've been watching, what would you say your favorite part is?
Well, it can be nice to watch, right? Like those gunslinger quarterbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're constantly surprising you. You don't know what's
Sure.
going to come. It's either going to be a touchdown or an interception.
Who would you say your favorite non-Jet player is?
Ooh, probably either Russell Wilson or Christian McCaffrey.
Those are both really good options. Now, what's on your mind in terms of Jets-related things?
I don't know. You were talking about earlier about Thuney and about how you think the Jets are going to throw a lot of money into him. I personally don't think they're going to do that. The way I've seen Joe Douglas go at this, I don't think he's going to spend a lot of money on one player.
Thuney's the one guy that I thought for sure if he hit free agency, we were going to throw a lot of money at. And I do believe that he wants to go with, quantity over quality, and to an extent. Like, I don't think we're going to blow our load on a Le'Veon Bell or a CJ Mosley, but I think for the right free agent, and I think guards, let me pull it up real quick. I think guards aren't necessarily paid a silly ton of money. It looks like Sheriff, I think he's on the franchise tag. He's getting $15 million. Everyone else is around $14. Let me look at the left guards. Left guards might be, they're around $13, $14 million. If you're asking me if I would rather have Jamal Adams for $17 million or Thuney for $15 million, I'm going to take Thuney. I think he could impact the game a lot more in the win-loss column than what we could have gotten from Jamal. Who do you want to go after in free agency next year? Is there someone that you're eyeing other than Thuney, or do you just want us to go like kind of bargain shopping?
I want to go with bargain shopping unless there's like a really good steal out there. But I kind of want to rebuild through the draft because we're not there yet. When you get these free agents, they're 25, 26, 27. They only have like a few more years of their prime. We're not going to be winning in the next few years. I've accepted it. We're in the middle of a rebuild. It'll take us a few years until we're contenders. So I don't think we should waste a time paying them when we can get more draft picks and rebuild through the draft and eventually get a really good team down the road.
Sure. I think that I don't know if I'd say the Jets are a rebuilding team as much as they are a retooling team. I think we have the quarterback. I think you have a good defense. Like I think you have a top 15 defense. If we can get the offense up to speed where it's like, let's say we have both a top 15 offense and a top 15 defense, that's when coaching comes into play. Poise as a quarterback comes into play, and that's where you could see things start to escalate. I think next year, 2021, is going to be the year that we look for to try and make the playoffs. I don't think we're in that boat this year right now, which is probably why we're holding on to some of our cap space. But I do think free agency is a big part of this puzzle, and there's certain players that you can target. Guys like an Alan Faneca, guys like, you look at the offensive line that the Jets had in 2009, 2010. We really built that offensive line to protect the quarterback and run the ball. I think you could do that right now, and it would pay dividends.
Well, yeah, because I think we could make the playoffs this year because of the 7th seed. That's it. I think we could squeak in there.
I think you're right. But you've been ejected from the cockpit! Eli! Thank you so much for calling in. I started listening towards the last part of your comment, and then I heard the ticking in my headset, and I was just like, Sorry. Who we got?
Vinny.
Vinny, what's good, brother? How you doing tonight?
What's up?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. And that's great. Body's finally back to 100%. I got power back after 4 days.
Ooh, 4 days. Did you have water at least?
What?
Did you have water at least for the 4 days?
Cold.
Did you have... You're breaking up. Did you have... Sorry. Sorry, Vinny. Kicking you off. I couldn't hear you. All right. Let's try again. Vinny, you can call back, and I'll pick up the phone. Let's see who we got. TJ says, my dad's a Mets fan and mom's a Yankee fan. I grew up between Mets and Yankees, but I have to stick with the Yanks. Jets bring too much sadness to my life. Yeah, that's basically where I fell. My dad's a Met fan. I guess my mom's maybe a Yankee fan. I don't really know. I don't know if she's much of a baseball fan, but I chose the Yankees because they win. Like I saw enough losing from the Jets. Hey, what's up, Steve? How you doing tonight?
Hey, Ryan. Another Monday. How you doing, man?
Oh man, just peachy. I'm very glad to be here. I missed not having the Talking Jets panel last week. Me and O'Leary wound up having our power knocked out, and I got mine back like late Thursday. I don't know when he got his back, but looking forward to having another night tonight and tomorrow.
Dude. I lost power Tuesday around noon, and then luckily I was one of the earliest. I think in the state. I'm like Central Jersey, but yeah, I got it back like Wednesday at 5:15 in the morning, so less than a day compared to a lot of people, but still it was terrible.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's way better than some other people. I had friends that did not get power back until like Saturday, and I was like, oh,
yeah, me
that's
too.
terrible.
I mean, and it's been hot. It's been really hot. So
it's been gross. I can't sleep with no AC, so I'm like laying on the tile bathroom floor, like sprawled out, just trying to like cool off. I had like some residual ice packs like the first night before our freezer. We had to throw everything out after the first day, but I like have ice packs on me, just like I need cool. I just can't do anything.
No, good stuff, man. But yeah, in terms of the Jets, something that I was thinking about was the CJ Mosley opt out, and how that affects the team and the contract going forward. So I know that the cap hit next year is only 7.5, and it's still a big contract that maybe, I know in one of your videos you mentioned it's still a tough contract for Douglas to maybe get out of, but maybe the one positive you could say is if he's delayed 1 year, he'll be here longer maybe when the team is built better to win. So maybe that's one positive I was thinking of.
Yeah, I mean that's the hope, and obviously I hope he stays good for that long. I think. Hold on, let me pull up Mosley's contract. I just want to see how old he's going to be by the time this contract kind of expires.
I think he's going to be 31.
Mosley, he'll be 32 now because it gets pushed back. So
right,
his that's rough. I mean, when did David Harris retire? I think David Harris was right around 32. Granted, he was way slower at that age. That's just, I mean, so his contract in 2022, so I said next year he's going to be 7.5. That's true. The year after that is 17.5. Then he goes up to 18.5, 18.5 the next 2 years. And we really can't get out of it until 2023. So it's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be weird to see what happens with the Jets roster and how we decide to team build. We're gonna have to focus on the draft, obviously. first and foremost. So maybe we don't try to go after like a Thuney or like a Juju that might cost us a little bit more money, knowing that we have to pay Sam at some point, knowing that we have Mosley under contract for so long. I've been a big proponent of saying you can have like 3 or 4 high-priced guys. So where do you want those to be? Middle linebacker is not a position that I want to pay a crazy ton of money to, but quarterback, edge rusher, cornerback, left tackle. Left tackle we got under contract for the next 5 years. That helps us out. We don't have a corner. We don't have an edge. So you got to figure that's where the money could potentially be going in the future.
I would agree, and I think if it pans out, I don't think he'll start much this year. But let's say going into the 2021 season, if it works out in training camp, I think you're going to have Becton and hopefully Cameron Clark on the left. McGovern, I think, is here for at least 2 to 3 years, and then hopefully they draft a right tackle. Maybe I don't think I want them to do another first rounder on a tackle. It was the right pick this year, but I think maybe edge or corner a little more premium on the defense for one of the 2 number 1 picks. But sure. I would think they would get a right tackle in the 2nd or 3rd round in one of these next couple drafts.
I think that would be a smart move. I think the Jets are not done building this offensive line. If Cameron Clark can wind up being one of our guards, I do think McGovern, that would lock down the left side of that line. Then you got to really look at right guard, right tackle. I don't know how they feel about Chuma Edoga. We're going to see this year. It wasn't very promising last year, but I would like to believe this offseason we'll see a 2nd or 3rd round right tackle, or even a left tackle that's going to get swapped over to right tackle.
Exactly. Yeah, and like I said, I got faith in Joe Douglas. It's just it's still funny how to this day Maccagnan is making us pay. Like, I'm not saying these are bad players or anything, but everything he touched, something happens. Mosley, it was a Maccagnan time. I'm not saying that was bad, but still the opt out, like, oh, that was a Maccagnan player. I'm like, just let Sam be normal and pan through. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, seriously. I just want to see Sam progress. I could care less about anything else that happens with this team. As long as Sam looks like he is the guy, which I believe he is, Me too. That's all I want to see. I just want to see good Sam. Thanks so much for calling in. You're out of here! And you've been ejected from the cockpit. One thing we didn't talk about, Josh Doxon. He's opting out. He opted out for the year. That was a smart move because I think he was going to get cut anyway. I don't think he was going to make the team regardless. And him opting out basically got him $150,000 for the year. So I think he will have to pay that back next year, though, if he doesn't make the team. I'm not exactly sure how that works. We'll see. I don't think he was making the team this year.
From
Marco.
Hey, what's good, Marco? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm hanging in there. What's on your mind, brother?
I was just looking at a bunch of projections for next year, and I've seen a lot of people projecting us to have a top 5 pick. Do you think we're gonna be that bad?
I don't think so. When I look at our roster this year compared to where we were last year with all the injuries, yes, the schedule is harder, but to get a top 5 pick, you're talking a 3, maybe a 4-win team. I think the Jets are better than that because I think the Jets could at least win a game against Miami. I think they could win a game. There's teams we could beat. We beat Oakland this year. I think we could beat Oakland, this year too. I don't see them being a top 5 pick. I could see top 10 if things kind of break the wrong way for the Jets and, maybe Gase loses the locker room and stuff sort of goes sideways. I don't know. I'm thinking we're probably going to wind up in the 11 to 15 range. I don't think we're going to... Would it shock me to see us contend for a playoff spot, that 7th seed? No, but I think realistically we're probably going to end up just shy of that, and we'll be in that 15 to 11 or 15 to 13 range.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about Quinn Williams because I know he's supposed to be the best player out of the draft, but we could have got Josh Allen at the time, and I thought that would have been a good pick because we needed edge. Do you think you would have drafted Allen, or you prefer Quinnen?
So at the time, my whole thing was I would like to get Nick Bosa, and then if not, I would like to trade down. And then if I had to pick one gun to my head, I said I wanted Quinn Williams over Josh Allen, not because I didn't want an edge rusher. I did want an edge rusher, but I mainly wanted Justin Houston in free agency or some of the edge rushers that we could have actually gotten. So Josh Allen, in hindsight, would have been the better pick. He's a hometown guy. I believe he's from Morristown, if I'm not mistaken, or Montclair. So he would have been local. But Quinn Williams is the type of player, if you think he could be an Aaron Donald type of player, then it was the right move. But you're looking back on it now, Quinn Williams did not have a great rookie season. And Josh Allen had, 8 sacks or something like that. He really blew the doors off. When I was looking at him coming out of college, I saw a lot of speed, like him just running around tackles. And I didn't think he was going to be able to do that at the pro level. I thought that was something he was just playing a lower level of competition, and that's kind of what he was able to get away with in college. Now, obviously, I look a little silly at this point, but we'll see. I don't know. I think the jury's still out on Quinn. I think when you look at Carlos, was it Carlos Dunlap or Geno Atkins? One of those guys on Cincinnati. There was a few defensive tackles that had very similar stats to Quinn Williams their first year, and they wound up being all pros. And I think Quinnen could wind up falling into that mold. And he doesn't have braces anymore, so that basically means he's an adult. So, maybe he'll play better.
And I just wanted to ask about corner, because we only had this year on a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think we draft another corner in the first round, or maybe free agency signing next year? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think corner is going to be a first-round need for sure. When I look at the Jets team as a whole, I see wide receiver, I see offensive line, those two kind of being maybe like a 2A, 2B, but I see edge rusher and corner being the 1A, 1B. So whether that is draft or free agency is yet to be seen. I think it depends who the Jets can really target. I think if we could get, that's why I've been saying Thuney and Juju, those seem like realistic targets that the Jets could get in free agency, and then you can shift your attention towards cornerback and edge rusher in the draft, because cornerback is going to be a big need for the New York Jets for sure.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have.
Good stuff, dude. Thank you so much for calling in. Guys, if you want your chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, head over to my Facebook page. It's down in the description down below. Just leave me a comment, any kind of comment. It could be something nice. It could be something bad, I guess, although I don't necessarily want that. And then that'll get you entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. And I'll raffle that off at the end of the show. Let's see if any of you guys have actually left anything. I'll go over to the Jets Talk page. Bam! Let's see. I'm sure there's some stuff over there. You guys are pretty good with that kind of stuff. Posts. All right, who we got on the line?
Noah.
Noah, what's good, dude?
To send a voicemail,
press
2.
I probably got to hit the button
I
first.
sent the colored voicemail.
Noah, what's... Oh, he's going to voicemail. Sorry, dude, I wasn't paying attention. All right, so fun fact. I don't know if anyone's actually posted anything on this page or not, because I'm pretty bad at using Facebook. All right, changing this up. If you want to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, you got to click on the link in the description down below, go to the Jets Discord, and answer this question.
Noah.
Why
accept,
didn't I have a Talking Jets panel last
voicemail,
week?
press 2.
If you guys know, answer that in the poll section down below. Why was there not a Jets Talking panel last week? Noah, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
Hey, I was just wondering, who do you think could be the next Darrelle Revis, Stephon Gilmore type of player?
Ooh, on the Jets, or you being like in general?
In general, but also like who's the best, like on the Jets too.
Ooh, okay. So I really like, Tre'Davious White, the cornerback from Buffalo. I think he's really good. I would say on the Jets, I'm hoping Bless Austin can stay healthy and because I think he's got the skill set to be a number one cornerback if he can stay healthy. If he can't stay healthy, that's going to be a real big issue for the Jets. I think our number one corner ultimately is not on the team yet. I think we're going to have to draft that guy next year, and then you just kind of hope. Getting a Darrelle Revis is a very tough thing to do. It's not like they come around very, very often. And Stephon Gilmore is absolutely phenomenal in his own right too. So I don't think the Jets are quite there yet. And I don't know who around the league would really be that. What do you want to see the Jets do this year? What do you think, or maybe in like the offseason? Is there a player you see the Jets possibly targeting?
I should, when Stephon Gilmore gets free agency, give him a giant contract, even if he's too old. But let's go for him.
Yeah, I mean, you could take a swing. It's not older players are not necessarily bad players to give contracts to. It's the ones like Tremaine Johnson that just kind of give up and turn the Jets into their retirement plan, and then he just banks a bunch of money and doesn't play any any meaningful downs. That's what you want to try to avoid. Or Darrelle Revis, like the second coming, where he wound up coming to the Jets, getting paid a ton of money, and then just sort of gave up. That's the toughest thing in free agency, is to have that kind of player enter the locker room, because then you have resentment from your younger players that are trying to get big contracts, like a Jamal Adams. Jamal was probably frustrated to watch Tremaine Johnson and C.J. Mosley not impacting play on the field last year, and then him making $4 million a year or whatever it is, and in his mind he sees himself as the best player, but money wise it doesn't make any sense because these guys are getting paid so much more than him.
And since the Jets, they have 2 first-rounders this year, do you see them making a move into top 5 maybe?
No, I don't. I don't think we're going to make a move into the top 5, and that's just because there's no college season. I think the Jets are more than one player away. Like if we were, say, in our 2009, 2010 build where the Jets had a strong roster, then I could see the Jets making a move up into the top of a draft to kind of get that player that could push them over the top if there was one there. I see the Jets as needing way too many pieces. I think there's probably 4 positions that I could rattle off real quick that you would like to see them address. And next year's draft is a huge, huge opportunity for the New York Jets to really remake this roster. I would say next year's draft is going to lay the groundwork for the future of the New York Jets.
Yeah. Okay, that's all. Thanks for answering the comments.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, dude. Guys, if you want to get your chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, head into the description down below, go to the Jets Discord, and answer this question. Why was there not a Talking Jets panel last week? There was a storm that came through, and something prevented it from happening. That is all I'm going to say. What was that something? Who we got on the line?
Eddie.
To accept.
Eddie, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm hanging in there. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, well, first off, I'm glad you got your juice back. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, man. It is miserable. Let me tell you a story real quick before I get into Jet stuff. We got a puppy, and she has
how is
had
your
some
puppy?
tummy. Oh, she's great. She had to go to the doctor and get some x-rays and stuff, but this is kind of where I'm getting into. So she was having some tummy issues, not feeling so good. She went number 2 in her crate twice when we did not have power. So she was kind of covered in some of her stuff. We had to give her a bath with flashlights and trying to scrub her down. We couldn't use the hair dryer to dry her off. We had to use a towel, and let me tell you, it was
Not to
rough.
mention the apartment was 85 degrees and you had the smell of crap in the air.
Exactly, and I'm on the 4th floor, so all the heat rises. And this was at what was it? It was 2 in the morning and 4 in the morning, and I had work at 6:30. I was like, oh, this is just
damn.
I was exhausted, absolutely shot. But what's on your mind, brother?
Anyway, I was wondering, were you listening to O'Leary's show this morning?
I didn't listen to it. I was doing some other stuff. What was he talking about?
Well, I had called up last week, and I missed the cut, so I was the first caller, so I got lucky. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about possibly getting, because we were still talking about the edge rushers possibly with the extra cap space. So we were talking about possibly, paying maybe what's his name, only $10 million, and say, well, if you don't get penalties, you get $2 million, and if you get double-digit sacks, you get another $2 million. I'm talking about Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, look,
only give him 10 mil. Only give him 10 mil to start. That's it. That's all you get, pal.
For sure.
And look, you get more.
I really like Jadeveon Clowney. I think he's a lot of fun to watch, and I think he's a huge name. And I would be really excited if we got him. My issue is I don't want to spend the money because I think the season's going to get cut short, and I want to roll that cap into next year. But if there was a
Yeah, I
player
know.
that could have the most impact on this team, it's probably Clowney. He can take over a game. Now, I would definitely want to have a heavy, heavy incentive-laden deal for him where it's like, hey, dude, you play like an elite edge rusher, you're going to get paid like one. Like, I don't mind paying a guy for playing
That's what I told
up to
Matt.
that level.
I told Matt, you only give him 10 to start, and if he wants more money, earn it. It will put it in the contract that you can make up to 15 mil, but it's on your ass to do it.
Yeah, see, I think he would not accept $10 million. I think there's probably another team out there that would give him a more lucrative one-year deal. Now, maybe at this point, maybe that's not even an option. Like, maybe other teams are kind of looking at the same thing we're looking at and just saying, like, you know what? Maybe we'll roll over this cap for next year and rolling the dice on a player like Clowney.
I don't think he's getting a lot of calls right now.
I don't think he is either, but I'm pretty sure he was offered a contract from the Browns, and I think it was a multi-year deal that was, I'm going to be lying if I say exactly what I think it is, but I wanted to say it was around 13 or 14 million a year. And I know he wanted like 20 million initially, then I think he fell down to like 16 or 17 million. So I don't think 10 is something that he's really looking
like a
at.
pumpkin though.
Yeah, I just don't see, I don't know. Maybe he sits out a year and kind of rests as opposed to taking like a real cheap 1-year deal, or maybe he signs after the first game of the season and then his contract isn't fully guaranteed. Maybe that makes a little more sense for a team that's willing to pay him, because then you can cut him and then you don't really have to eat too much of a crazy cap hit.
Right. One quick point I want to make, because you're going to bounce me soon.
You got a minute.
I'm curious as to the rookie corners that we got, like the kid we got from Virginia. I really think that this kid teamed up with Bless Austin. I think we really got a diamond in the rough with this kid. I'm really think that the roster is a lot better than a lot of people think if we coach these guys up right.
I would love to see that. Bless Austin, if he stays healthy, I think it could be a number 1 corner, at very least a number 2 corner. I like Bryce Hall. I think he's a cornerback that I wanted. I want to say it was round 3 is what I had him projected for, and he wound up getting him around 5. So I know Green Bean lives down near Virginia, and he was very, very high on Hall. So I am hoping that he can heal up and he can wind up being that other side of the backfield for us over there. That would be huge. Thank you so much, dude. You're out of here! You've been ejected from the cockpit. So good. Davish, the Scottish Jets fan, thank you for tuning in. He goes, I think I'll watch the rest of this later on after 2 a.m. here, so I shall bid you good night. Good night, David. Thank you for stopping by real quick. Who we got?
Call from
Sam.
Sam, what's good, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hi. So I called in last week to tell you that I was just getting into football, and I just wanted to tell you that I've been watching games, and I played Madden a lot and stuff.
There you go. So have you figured out who your favorite player is? Now, you're new to football in general, or just new to the Jets?
I'm new to football in general.
So who would you say your favorite player is across the league? It doesn't necessarily have to be a Jets player.
I'd say it's Sam Darnold, because first of all,
I love Sam.
They're the same name, and because just I like him.
Oh, of course. Now, what's on your mind tonight, Sam?
So I just wanted to say that I want to ask how you think the Jets will be in the future.
So I got my fingers crossed here. If the Jets can really lock down some of the key positions, guys like an edge rusher, a cornerback, if we could protect Sam Darnold, if Sam can have the time to throw the ball, it's going to do so much for this offense, because then the running back starts playing better. The wide receivers start catching more balls. Sam doesn't throw as many interceptions or doesn't get sacked as many times, so we don't have as many long, 2nd and 13 or 2nd and 15. If we can stay healthy, we don't commit penalties. Those are going to be the biggest parts to this team, and I hope we're going to be good. This year, I see our ceiling probably is 8-8 at this point. I think next year is really going to be the year that you could see the Jets sort of take that step forward and hopefully be a playoff team.
Yeah. So I also want to say that I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels like your channel and Jet Central and Sports Jabber with the lefty. And yeah, so yeah, I just want to say that.
What's your favorite YouTube channel?
Probably yours, because it's just.
There it is.
Yeah, you're the first Jets channel that I watched and stuff. And yeah.
Oh, very cool. Dude, that's cool. I like hearing that sort of stuff. Jet Central's really good. He knows his stuff. He's really good, kind of off the cuff. I wanted to try and have him on a little bit here and there, but I haven't been able to kind of link up with him. Have you watched any of our Talking Jets panels yet?
No, I don't think so. No.
So the Talking Jets panels, we started them in the off season, and then we took a break, and we just brought them back 2 weeks ago. We actually had to miss our second week coming back because of the power outages and everything. Me and Matt O'Leary wound up losing power, but we do these Talking Jets panels every Tuesday night. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. Me, O'Leary, and Greenbean, and we talk a whole bunch of Jet stuff. If you really want to get some good opinions, that's a prime time to kind of tune in.
All right. Thank you for that.
Oh, of course, dude. Listen, I'm going to get to some more callers. You've been awesome. And thank you for calling in. All right. Guys, if you want your chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, make sure you go into the description down below. Click on the Jets Discord link. Scroll down to the poll section and answer this question. Why was there not a Talking Jets panel last week? It had something to do with a storm. And I'll leave it there. Who we got?
Mike, NY Sports MC.
Hey, what's good, Mike? How you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going? I know I haven't called in a while. Just had some time tonight. Wanted to see how you've been doing.
Yeah, good stuff, dude. I haven't talked to you in, God, man, it feels like 2 months probably.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
It's been a while since I called in. I've been in the
guys. If you guys have not, I've seen you in the chat, guys. If you're not subbed up, NY Sports MC, he's got a good Jets channel. Make sure you sub him up. You'll see his name pop up in the chat over there. But yeah, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so just kind of want to talk to you about a few of the things. Again, I know we've spoken about this before, but the more and more we go through it, the more and more I just love the Joe Douglas signing, the Jamal trade, everything. Just love what he's doing with this franchise. And I just want to talk about. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I completely agree. I love everything that Joe Douglas has done. Basically, every move that he's made, even if you want to say like the worst move that he's made is probably Ryan Khalil. Like, I like that swing. I think it's a good attempt at getting a safety in, or a center in here to help protect Sam Darnold. Even though he missed, I think it was the right move overall. So even his bad stuff, I really like.
Absolutely. So I just kind of want to get your take with, obviously us trading Jamal, he was a very talented player for us. TJ Mosley kind of opting out on us. How much do you think that's going to affect your outlook for the team when it comes to defensively and then just overall and record projection?
I would say this. With Jamal, I think based on where he was at towards the end of his tenure with us in terms of kind of ragging the Jets through the dirt, I think we are fine without him. I don't think him leaving affects our win-loss column like by a full game. Maybe you say like half a game maybe or a third of a game. Like I think we're still going to be fine. The fact that we got a starting safety in that trade along with the 2 first-round picks and the third-round pick is huge. Now losing CJ Mosley, that one hurts. Luckily we do have Avery Williamson on the roster. Otherwise, that would sting a lot more than it does. We got to see what this team looked like without C.J. Mosley last year anyway. So at the very least, getting Avery Williamson back is kind of an upgrade to what we saw last year, minus Jamal Adams.
Right. Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of at, too. Obviously, I think it hurts the projections a little bit of what you were thinking going into the year with 2 all-pro players in Jamal Adams and C.J. Mosley. But if we're looking at projections from last year to this year, I don't think it should really change what you think too much because really, obviously, these changes are on the defensive side of the ball. If you look at our defensive line, everybody's returning, so it should be improved because now you have Quinn Williams back healthy, second year in the league in the system. should be much improved this year. Everybody else is kind of returning. If you look at the linebacker, like you mentioned, we didn't have Avery Williamson last year either. So the linebacking crew, even though we're C.J. Mosley opted out, that should still be an improvement from last year because we had Williamson back. And then the corners, I think, addition by subtraction, not having Tremaine Johnson and Darryl Roberts anymore. And I know you just mentioned that was a position you can see as like a 1A or 1B in the draft. I think we really have to see this year because we do have Blessing on Austin. We do have a Bryce Hall, who they both have a lot of potential. So I definitely think that could be a position that we do address, but it's a position that we kind of have to see what happens this year because we do have some people who have some hidden talent there. So I want to see what those guys have before I definitely say it's like a first-round need right this second. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, and then you also say you got Zuniga and you got Huff also. So between Zuniga, Huff, and then you got Blesson, Austin, and Hall, it's two positions that we desperately need that have potential. So the worst thing would just be not getting an NFL season and then just sort of not getting to see these guys progress and see what we need, because then maybe we're spending a high pick on an edge rusher and a cornerback when in reality maybe we don't really need to do that. Maybe we have those answers on the roster and then we can start building, maybe some of our other areas of the team.
Right. And what are your thoughts on and now I'm hoping that we don't even have to worry about this. I'm hoping we have a full season. Whether it's college football or not, that's going to be different. But what do you think they would even do from an NFL standpoint if there was no season? How would they pick a draft order?
So I've heard a few different sort of ideas floated. Some of them was just like, hey, raffle off all the picks. Then in theory, whatever team was picking 32, whatever team was picking 32 could get number one if in a very tiny fraction of it. But my favorite idea that I saw pitched was you take an average of the last 3 seasons played, and you take the wins and you weigh them based on how far back it goes. So last year would be weighted 60%. 2 years ago would be weighted 30%. And then 3 years ago would be weighted 10%. So if you take a 60-30-10 and then you say, okay, well maybe the top 17 teams, or picks 1 through 17, get raffled off, and the worst team of those top 16 teams rather, the worst team of those top 16 teams has the most ping pong balls in the basket, and the 16th team has the least. And then you have from pick 17 through pick 32, that's another raffle between those the teams right there, and the highest any one of those teams could get is up to pick 17. So that way you don't get like the New England Patriots winding up picking Trevor Lawrence in the first round, and you don't wind up having the Bengals falling all the way back to 32, because there's so much that could happen from year to year. I think you kind of have to take a little bit of a sample size, but you still have to weigh it in a certain fashion. I just don't know how they're going to do it. It's fascinating to me to see what's going to happen this year.
Right. Like I said, hopefully we don't have to worry about that. Hopefully we do have a season. But I think the no college season, it seems like that's going to happen. I know the players are kind of coming out with this we want to play movement to try to play. But if there's no college season, I think that's going to be fascinating as well. I do have faith in Joe Douglas and the staff that he has. But if you look at every year, there's this time, if you look at mock drafts around this time, and then you look after the college football season and the NFL season, they're drastically different. There's a few names that are kind of constantly in there. But who had Joe Burrow as who had Joe Burrow as a first-round pick before last season?
No one.
Nobody.
No one did. It was always Tua. And then last year, I want to say it was Gross Matos was considered a top 5 pick. He wound up going, I think it was in the second round. Like there's you could just totally change from this
Quinn
time
Williams.
to draft time. Same sort of idea.
Becton, right?
Yeah. Who would have thought Mekhi Becton would be as high as he is? Or as high as he was drafted. Like it's totally different.
Most people didn't even know who he was going into last year.
Sure. Now I wonder how much of that is like scouts not putting out these rankings, and it's like CBS and NBC and like all these other guys that are just picking the popular names. That's interesting too. But I don't know. Mike, thanks so much for calling in. I love you, dude. Boom! You've been ejected from the cockpit. Guys, make sure you sub up Mike, NY Sports MC. Guy knows his stuff over there. You'll see him in the chat. He's popping in from time to time. Him and I will jump on a live stream at some point in the future. I know he was trying to get me on last week. I was a little busy at the time, but we'll link up at some point.
Call from
Jake.
Hey, Jake, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan, another week. How you doing, sir?
Oh, just another day in paradise. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, first, sorry about the poo shower thing you were doing in the dark. That didn't sound too fun.
Oh, God, it was miserable. I don't know if you caught the very beginning of the show, but I had a situation at work where we only had like half power, and I was literally taking water out of a koi pond out back and dumping it down toilets after people went to the bathroom. It was brutal. I had a very shitty week.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, no pun intended on that.
Oh, God. But yeah, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so, well, I'm going to say it again, man. I don't really see a season happening. I mean, I think the college football season's not making this look better, and you're going to see, once you see like an Ohio State program get cut down, it's pretty much game over. The only reason why, like, the SEC staying afloat is because, I'm not going to get political, but you know, Trump loves to have the SEC states supporting him, so that's the only reason they're staying afloat. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that too much, but that's why I think the NFL's still in trouble. But two things. Number one, I don't know if I don't know if you mentioned it on the show or not yet, but you know, Quincy Enunwa got released, and I was reading his contract. You know, he's taking a pretty big dead cap hit that I didn't realize that we were going through when I was reading the contract. So I don't know if you've read through his contract, but in my opinion, this is one contract that I think, number one, McCagnon just did a horrendous job putting together. But why is it that they decided to release him now? I know he has spinal stenosis. I know that pretty much is a career-threatening injury. But was there a reason why they were able to get out of this contract now than maybe like in the next year or so where his cap hit was much lower?
So the big issue was, and I said this back in, God, was it January or February? I made a video. Quincy has an injury guarantee for this season, and the Jets could have gotten out of his contract pretty easily or with a pretty nice cap savings back in March if he was able to pass a physical. But because he was not going to be able to pass a physical, that injury guarantee kicked in. I think it was the third day of the new league year. So the Jets were going to have to pay him that money. Now, I think at this point, I don't know if he was eating up a roster spot because he was technically on, I think, the PUP list. But I think part of it was just like, hey, you know, let's just move on. There's nothing here. We're going to move on from him anyway. If we cut him now, we probably save more cap space in the future, like in 2021. I think that's more the move that they tried to make with Quincy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel bad for him. I think he was a great player. He's been on some shows, I think. What's that show? Let's Talk Radio. They've talked to him a bunch of times. They said he's a really good person. So, I mean,
he's a good guy.
I mean, actually, one of the reasons why I think Gase should have been fired is the way he treated him after his wife during Veterans Day or something. That she like took him out to lunch. That was.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is a complete scumbag. Even tell me you're gonna like exploit him on like on the announcement board or whatever it was. But so.
Yeah.
You know, listen, good luck to him. You know, I mean, I don't think he's going to play again, but I think, you know, hopefully a good future. And secondly, just a quick comment I just want to say. You know, we keep talking about all these this draft coming up this year because I think the season's going to get canceled, and I think they're going to have to find a way how they're going to arrange the draft and the picks and all that for next year. I think this is going to be the most bargain draft in NFL history because if you really – because I've said this in the chat room a few times, like, you look at someone like Justin Ross. This guy was supposed to be a top 5 pick probably next year, next with Jamar Chase. His injury now, and you look at his situation, he could be an end of a first-round pick. That Seattle pick now turns into a monster value pick for them. And you're going to see all these other kids you've seen that have already opted out. We talk about pass rushers, corners. What was all over the news? All those positions were players that were opting out. That's a position I think that you're going to get such good value if they're not going to play. Now, obviously, there's no college football season, then it's a wash no matter what. And not to mention the fact these players are all healthy now. They have another year of a shelf life. They have a longer shelf life than they did prior coming to the league, or they're coming out saying, yeah, you know, I tore my knee up, but I had to get ready for the draft. So you can say whatever you want. I think this is a great bargain draft. Everyone could say it's risky, but yeah.
Sure. No, I think you're right. I think it's a good bargain draft, but I think it's also a very risky draft as well. I think you're going to see players that are really good fall like you mentioned. Now Ross, I've heard rumors that could be a career-threatening injury, but if you could get that caliber player at the end of the first round or in the second round because teams haven't been able to scout guys the right way, or if you can pick a bad, or you could, go the opposite way. You could pick a bad player. If the Jets wind up with the 11th pick, you could take a player that should not have gone there. It could go both ways, but all teams are going to be in this same sort of weird, murky kind of scouting situation. The Jets just get 2 cracks at it, and we get a few more draft picks later on. I think what you're going to see is down the road, not down the road, but in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, those picks where you kind of need more videotape on guys to see just how they're going to play in the future, that's what's going to be harder. But those picks are already hard to hit on anyway. I think you kind of know who the top players are. Welcome to the cockpit, dude. How are you doing tonight?
Hello.
What's on your mind?
Okay, listen, this is going to be a little different phone call than usual just because I'm a little in the business and journalism, is that this content race that you guys have with Jet Central all the way to Loyal Jets, everything in between, O'Leary, I believe you stand at the cream of the crop. And with your
you're a good man.
with everything, with all I'm just seeing from a media journalist standpoint is that I understand that all that hard work that you take care of to be number one with your merchandise giveaways, Mondays, Tuesdays.
I appreciate it. That means a lot, dude. And that's not, look, Jet Central, he's one of the guys that got me into making videos. I started watching his videos and I was like, this guy could talk Jets. I could talk Jets. Maybe I could collaborate with him at some point. I did do a collaboration early on in my my YouTube career, and then I saw O'Leary start coming up. I really like Matt. Matt's got a lot of really good takes. I watched some of the guys over on Instagram. I like loyal New York Jet fans. I like Jets Media. He's an up-and-coming Jets channel on the platform. I think there's a lot of good Jet content creators.
Look what you have done. I mean, you got this YouTube channel and everything like that. And this is the only thing, and I'm going to end it with one thing. I know you're busy. I know you.
No, it's all right. You got 3 minutes. You're good. You're just fluffing me up.
You're talking to a huge Jet fan from Texas, from actually South Texas. So
I like it.
I live in Cowboys Nation, and I am a diehard Jets fan. I went to school in Long Island, right down the road from you guys. So I kind of lived and breathed the Jets way back when.
Sure.
And so I'm keeping it. My daughter's gonna be a Jets fan. But the last.
Oh, why would you do that to her? Why would you? We got stuck in this fanhood. Why would you do it to her? No, that's awesome. Some of my fondest memories growing up are me and my dad going to Jet games and just having like those Jet moments, like sitting on the couch watching games, jumping up and down, crying when we lost, like all these things that just mean so much to me. Now I'm an adult, and I think you're going to have those same things with your daughter.
Well, I have to get on some way to ask Rich Eisen on this radio show to be like, how do I raise a Jets fan? What is so bad? What do I have to do it? What do we have to do?
It's basically like I don't want to say like abuse, but it's almost like you're letting them hey, you're coming into this Jets fanhood. It's like a little smack in the back of the head. It's not a good thing.
Oh yeah.
But no. Look, I love the Jets, and I love we used to have season tickets, and some of the guys that we would go to the games with just wound up being like the closest family for the 15 years we had the tickets. And those kind of bonding moments over sports are so huge, and to get it with family and friends is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? What do you think for the Jets? You're a big Jet fan from Texas. Are the Dallas fans over there upset that they didn't get Jamal?
Well, the quick thing is that if you look back, and I hound my group of friends all day long, is that these Cowboys, they haven't beaten the Jets since like 2010. The last 3 attempts have been epic wins.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember the interception return for a touchdown, and then obviously last year we had the Jamal Adams stop on the 2-point conversion. I couldn't remember the last time that Dallas actually beat us.
The one in between is that we all forget is Kellen Moore running his offense, and Calvin Pryor makes like a crazy interception in the end zone out of nowhere. So the last 3 times the Cowboys have played us, they have all lost.
Oh man, that makes me feel good. I have no hate towards the Dallas fans because like it kind of rubs Giant fans the wrong way, and I get a little chuckle out of that. But like, man, there's something about Cowboys fans that are like too loud all the time. Like I kind of like putting them in their place a little bit. And as a Jet fan, we don't get to put many teams in their place, so it's kind of nice.
Right. I have this aspect that I've just been living outside Jet, fans in nation, and so like my dream is actually to be with Jet fans because I only have 1 or 2 at the bar. Not like.
Well, dude, anytime you tune in here, you're with Jet fans, and boom! You're out of here! Thank you so much for calling in. Oh man, he made me feel good about myself. I do put a lot of hard work in it, so it's nice that it goes noticed. I appreciate it.
Call from
Ethan.
Ethan, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Good. What's going, brother? I haven't talked to you in a minute. Good looking haircut tonight, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. That was Becca. Becca did the haircut in the bathroom just before I came on, probably like an hour before or so. So thank you, Becca.
Oh,
I don't know if you're watching in the bedroom, but oh yeah, she's got skills. If you need to know, it's a 2 on the sides, a 3 right here, and then a 6 on the top. So, and then just a little gel to make it look like halfway decent.
I go 3 on the sides, medium fade, trim the top.
I like it. There you go. What's on your mind tonight, brother?
Oh, nothing. I wanted to give you a shout out because I haven't talked to you in a minute, and then I wanted to point out a couple of things because I haven't talked to you since the trade and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hey, by the way, I told you, 4 years, $40 million, $25 million guaranteed. Marcus May.
Ooh,
right? I told you that before that all happened. Remember?
Yeah. Look,
about Jamal and stuff. I told you we should have locked him up. And then we
lock up May before. You saying lock up May before or lock up Jamal earlier?
No, I meant lock up May earlier. Remember, I was all signed May now. Here's $40 million, $25 million guaranteed, and everyone was a little hesitant. You were a little hesitant.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'm still hesitant. I would not sign May until after the season, or if you could negotiate something halfway through the year if he's really looking good. Because I think you I want to bring May back. I especially with Jamal not here anymore. You got to have some sort of consistency in that backfield. I don't know if 4 years. I guess 4 years, $40 million. It basically makes him with $25 million guaranteed. That's like a 2-year deal, with like a $5 million dead cap hit after that. If you were to cut him after 2 years, because I think he's 27 now, or will be 20.
28.
He's gonna be 28. Yeah, so 4 years, you're talking 32 years old. But if you can get out of that deal after 30, like in his 30-year-old season, I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And then my second thing was because I heard you talking about O'Leary and then Jet Central and stuff like that. So I had a couple of things. Because he, for one, Jet Central, I like all you guys. Don't get me wrong. I like anybody that puts out content. You know what I mean? As far as the Jets, I like Jet fans. Like I'm in California, born and raised Staten Island. Came out here after the Marine Corps.
So you got nothing out there in terms of Jet stuff. So you're basically watching YouTube just to get your Jets fix.
Oh yeah, I got to watch my YouTube and like look for Jets content. ESPN and everyone. Everyone. Of course, the Jets stink, right? To everyone.
Oh yeah, that's always how it is.
Yeah, but quick on him. He threw out an article on we should get Ngakoue.
Mm-hmm.
Not Ngakoue. I mean, the guy from the Jaguars.
Yeah, Ngakoue.
Yeah, Ngakoue. I'm right.
Yeah. The edge rusher.
And then he said, but I think the best option is going with Javier Clowney. And I threw him out. A little question. He never answered me. I said, who has more sacks over the last 3 years, Clowney or one of your New York Jets?
Ooh.
Do you know who
so
that
let's
is?
see. It would have to be over the last 3 years. It's got to be Jordan Jenkins, right? Like, who else would be on the?
Sir. You are
I was gonna say, I don't know. I like Clowney from an excitement standpoint because he's a big name. I don't like him because of the penalties. I think he could wreck games more than maybe some other person we could bring in. The one reason I would maybe opt for Clowney over Ngakoue right now is because you can't sign Ngakoue until after the season to a long-term deal. And I don't want to give up an asset for someone that we might have to franchise tag or might have to pay a crazy ton of money to, by him holding out and saying like, oh, I'm going to hit free agency, so you got to tag me and then work out a deal. I want Ngakoue. I think he's the better player.
Whose spot does he
edge rusher-wise?
Jenkins' spot? You know what
I mean, I wouldn't mind. Jenkins is only in there for a year. I think Jenkins is he fits a role, but I think opposite Jenkins, who are you going to put? Are you going to put Zuniga? Are you going to put Huff? Or I don't know. I think you could probably play Clowney where like Henry Anderson maybe, like that's where I would probably plug him in.
Yeah. No, I agree. Second one.
Boom! You're out of here! You've been ejected from the cockpit. Your timer expired. I heard O'Leary's name in there. I don't know what it was, but I shouldn't have ejected you because I wanted to hear what it was. Matt and I, we lost power last week. Guys, if you want to win your chance at a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, answer this question down in the description down below. There's a link to the Jets Discord. Click on the Jets Discord, scroll down to the poll section, and then answer this. Why was there no Talking Jets panel this past Tuesday? That's the question of the day. Someone's going to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. And let's see how many people actually answered this sort of thing. Because I went over to the Facebook page. Didn't really work the way I was kind of hoping. Let's see what we got. Where's the poll section? There's the poll section. All right. We got a bunch of people. Answering. All right, guys. You got about 20 minutes to answer that question. 15 minutes, I'll say. 15 minutes to answer the question, where or why was there not a Talking Jets panel last week? Answer that in the Jets Discord down in the poll section. Get yourself entered to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. All right, what's going on in the chat over here? I see Eli talking a lot in there. What else we got? Why not both? Talk about Jordan being drafted over in Cheese Country. Jordan Love, that blew my mind. Had no idea they were going to go with him. I was flabbergasted, especially when you got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I don't know. I think when you took Aaron Rodgers back in 2004 or 5, that was when quarterback contracts as a rookie were way higher. Now you have the benefit of the rookie contract and the rookie pay scale. This quarterback being taken is a sign that they're going to want to play him maybe next year, maybe the year after. I mean, unless you use him as a trade chip, maybe you say like, hey, he sat behind Aaron Rodgers and now he's, going to be a really good quarterback. You saw the Patriots kind of do that with their backup quarterbacks in the past. You could see that. What we got going on over there? What are you doing over there, Becca? Making some noise. Becca, did you hear the compliment you got on my haircut? Yeah, see, people, look at that. It's a good-looking haircut right there. Let's see. Brandon, why you leave the Discord? I don't know what that means. All right, let's see. You can't start a football season 2 to 3 months after the season ends. What did I just miss? Noah, the Jets fan. What's up, Noah? Says Dante Fowler and Carlos Dunlap are both from Florida, so I'm hyped for Zuniga. Yeah, you know who else is from Florida? Ja'Kai Polite. I really went sideways on that one. Oh, man. I was so high on Ja'Kai Polite, and that just really... JETS mess says we need Becca sighting in her belly shirt again. Becca, you hot. I outkicked my coverage there. That was if you guys have not seen that, there's a live stream somewhere. I don't know how long ago that was, where Becca was out in a crop top. And we got a lot of comments. There was a lot of comments there. Oh man. Griffin says, I wish the Jets had drafted Nate Stanley, not James Morgan. I know Stanley, so I was going to get a jersey and get it signed. That's pretty cool. In terms of like players that I've ever known, the only player that I've actually known or sort of knew, my neighbor down the shore was drafted by the Packers to be a tight end, Clark Harris, back in the day. And then he became a long snapper for the Bengals, and I'm pretty sure he set the world record for the longest long snap at the Pro Bowl. I could be wrong. He may not own it anymore, but I think it was last year he set that record. Steven says, stop saying that, Ryan. She's going to leave you thinking she could do better. Oh, she could definitely do better. But I gave her a ring 2 years ago now, and I'm kind of gambling on the fact that she doesn't want to leave at this point. Or she's just going to take my ring and then go off with some other good-looking guy. So who knows? Frank the Tank says, Sam Darnold about to throw 30 touchdowns. If Sam plays for a full 16-game season with a better offensive line, a better receiving core, a healthy, or not healthy, but like a better Bell, yeah, I could see Sam throwing for 30 touchdowns. I think our record's 30 or 31 by Fitzpatrick, so I could see us breaking that record with Sam. Denzel Mims going to have a monster rookie year with all the targets he's about to get. I hope so. I don't know if he'll have a monster rookie year. If we can get like 700 yards out of Mims for the first season, I think that's a successful rookie campaign for him. Jamie says, Jericho Cotchery lived next door to my friend. That's really cool. I like Jericho Cotchery. He was one of my favorite kind of unsung heroes for the New York Jets. And my sports MC says COVID is giving her time for second thoughts. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this. We were supposed to get married back in May. We actually had to delay our wedding a year. That's why we wound up with Bali, the puppy, because Bali was where we were supposed to go on our honeymoon. So we brought Bali to us. And I love it. I don't want to say I'm happy that our wedding got canceled, or not canceled, but got pushed back, but I really love our puppy. She's awesome. Whoop. Hey, Bali, come here. Come here, girl. Come here, Bali. Is she going to come? I don't know if she's going to come. She may not come over here. Bali! Come here, girl! I don't think she's going to come. I'm just yelling. I've yelled into the microphone. You guys are probably like, what the hell's going on? Oh, there's a dinosaur sighting. Where is it? Here, girl. Look at her. Look how big she is. Oh, fun fact. Aside from the power getting knocked out, we had Bali was going for her first haircut. She was going for her first haircut and wound up looking like Edward Scissorhands did her haircut because the power went out halfway through. So she got half her haircut. It was not 50% off. Becca, they're looking for you. Why don't you just bring Bali over here? Come on. See, she's just like, I don't want to come on. We'll see. We'll see if she pops over here. What else is going on in that chat? Oh, is that my... Oh, no, puppy's going away. Okay, whatever. I see how it is. Noah says, James Morgan is absolutely and disgustingly bad, but reaction is love. I quoted Jamal Adams. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, who we got? Who's on the phone?
Ethan.
Ethan, what's good, brother? Welcome back.
Hey, brother. I heard you say, because I watched it after. I heard you say you heard O'Leary's thing. So,
I heard O'Leary's name. I want to hear it. What?
I know. I love this. Is my big thing with him is everyone's on this hate Adam Gase trolling thing, right? Everyone hates Adam Gase, but I just want people to understand, like, who's had the best record over like the last 4 or 5 years for the Jets?
Oh God! I mean, it's got to be Adam Gase, right?
Adam
I
Gase.
mean,
Right? Yeah. No, so
sure.
It's Adam Gase. You know what I mean? So everyone that's on this trolling game of Adam Gase, I mean, we're getting a little bit crazy. I mean, if you see Sam's production with a clean pocket, see Sam's production on you see Sam's production with gearing the offense towards him. You know what I mean? It just goes to show you that obviously this guy does know what he's talking about. I mean, I keep hearing everyone makes these articles and stuff like that. It kind of gets my goat a little bit. It's like, well,
yeah.
Okay,
Look,
Frank Gore likes.
Frank
Gore's pretty
good.
He's been around for a long time. Peyton Manning.
So you and I are on the same. you and I are on the same wavelength, my friend, because I've said this for a while now. We've had, hey, Bolly, we've had, the Peyton Manning likes him, Demaryius Thomas likes him, Frank Gore likes him. These are all all pro caliber players that will vouch for Adam Gase. And then you have Sam progressing. I did a video at the end of the season. Hey, how did Sam Darnold progress from year 1 to year 2? And in every statistical category that I went over, he got better. And then the only category that was worse was his offensive line went from, I think, 16th or something like that down to 31st or 32nd. So, clearly something's working. I mean, now, the eyeball test was alarming. I will say that. There was times he was calling plays where I was like, I don't know what the hell this guy's doing. His mannerisms kind of confused me. I think what Jamal was saying with, hey, he doesn't address the team at halftime would not shock me if that's true at all. I actually think it's probably... I think there's some truth to it there, but
what do you think
given
about
the injuries
of Le'Veon Bell? That's another thing. The misuse of
yeah,
Le'Veon Bell.
That bothered
me.
me.
This guy got rep after rep. He got, they were throwing the ball to him. They were doing everything for him. Now, people have to remember, 31st line in the league.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue.
Because
Bell was getting hit in the backfield most of the time.
Yes, we're projected to be the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
That's half better than what we were. We sucked.
Yeah, if we get a top 15 offensive line, Sam takes that leap forward. I fully believe it. I think he was going to take the leap forward last year had he not gotten mono. That's the other thing you got to remember too. Sam got better with having mono. If you've ever had mono, it is miserable to do anything physical, and it lasts for months. It's not just a 3-week thing that he missed. That probably lingered with him through November. You start seeing him play the tail end of the year like that. I would bet that's a 3-month recovery, to really feel better.
3-month process. Yes, I think it's hilarious because I keep on hearing all this. Oh, people were misused. People were this. People were that. And then we have no weapons. I'll tell you what. I don't know if you were listening to the NFL last year. If they couldn't talk more about Rashad Perriman, all of a sudden he comes to the Jets. Well, he sucks. You know what I mean?
Well, that's just it. The last 5 games of Perriman's career in Tampa was awesome. If he can somehow do that, because look, when I'm looking at this Jets roster, let's go over it little by little. Linebacking core. You had no C.J. Mosley, no Avery Williamson. We're getting Avery Williamson back this year, and everyone else has another year under the belt. That's an improvement.
Thank goodness.
Quinn Williams,
Thank goodness.
Another year under his belt, going to be an improvement. Cornerback-wise, you bring in Desir, you lose Roberts, you lose Tremaine Johnson. That's an improvement. Now, yes, we're taking a step back with safety because we're losing Jamal and we're bringing in Bradley, but okay, that's really the only weakness on the defense, or maybe not weakness, but the only knock. I like McDougal. I think he's going to be fun to watch. I think he's a little bit more of a ball hawk than Adams was. And then you look at the offensive side of the ball. The offensive line clearly got better. That's going to help the wide receiving core. I think Perriman is a better, riskier version of Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie was consistent in that you knew he was going to be healthy, you knew he was going to be on the field, but I think Perriman has that top end. With Bell, you have the same player you're getting last year, but you're getting a better offensive line. Sam without the mono, with a better offensive line and all those upgrades, plus you're getting his favorite target in Herndon back. I think the Jets are going to be way better than where they were last year.
Just thinking about that's what I mean. Just think of it. You have 3 people on the line. 2 people on the line that committed 3 penalties total. There's Doug.
Yeah. Hi. Brother, thank you so much for calling in. That was fun. All right, guys, we got 9 minutes. Oh, see, Bolly wants to get out of here. Bolly, why don't you look at the camera? What's going on? Let's go. She had to go to the vet, so we got this little chicken nugget kind of bone patch right here. Look how little that is. She's all fur. She's all fluff. All right, who we got on the phone?
Call from
Bolly's
Eli.
jumping. Hey, what's good, Eli? How you doing again?
Hey, I just wanted to talk on behalf of someone else who I will not name. I'm going to remain anonymous. But what about? He's a Giants fan. I wanted to ask you if there's anything you wanted to say about the Giants.
So for the Giants,
about their drafting.
They're drafting. Oh, man, well, that depends on where you want to go with this, because I think they should have drafted Sam Darnold, but now that they have Barkley and they have Daniel Jones, I think they're they're in good shape. I think, was it ESPN or NFL.com? Someone just released the top players under 25 and teams that should be ranking really high. The Bills were really high up there. I think the Giants were number 2. I think the Bills were number 1. I think the Giants were number 2 on that list. The Jets, I think, fell at 15 or 14. In terms of the Giants drafting, I like Andrew Thomas a lot. I think that was the safest of the offensive tackles between him and Wills. I think Becton is probably the riskiest of the tackles, but I think he also has the highest upside. Then you have the Giants taking a corner last year, who winds up getting. I don't think he's even on the team anymore. I'm pretty sure they released him. I don't know. And, the dude that had robbed an entire party or a barbecue or something like that. I don't know. I think the Giants are in a good spot. I think they're in a tough division because you got Dak Prescott, you have Carson Wentz. I think Dallas and the Eagles are both good teams. As much as that division was terrible last year, they're on the up and up. I like Ron Rivera more than the Washington team was. In years past. I don't like DeAndre Hopkins, or not DeAndre Hopkins. Sorry, I don't like. God, I'm losing my train of thought here.
DeAndre Baker. DeAndre Baker.
No. Well, I wasn't talking about DeAndre Baker. I was talking about the quarterback for Washington, Haskins. Dwayne Haskins.
Yes.
I don't like Haskins at all. So I'm not really concerned with Washington so much, but I think Giants fans should be excited. And it's actually something, so I got to reach out to Chris, the entertainer, because we were talking after our stream, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago now? There may be something in the works with the two of us moving forward, so I'll kind of leave that there. I don't exactly know what it's going to be, but we have an idea, little idea.
Right, because I remember draft night, the Jets drafted Mekhi Becton, and Tristan Wirfs was on the board. And at first, I was very angry. I'm like, how could you draft this guy over Tristan Wirfs? And then they showed, how they always show the highlight reel, and holy crap, Mekhi Becton literally throws these 250-pound, 6 feet tall men onto the ground with absolutely no effort at all. He's massive.
He's an exciting player to watch. I think it's going to be a lot of. I hope we actually get a season because I want to see him throw some NFL linemen or NFL linebackers around. There was not going to be a bad pick for me. If we took one of those 4 offensive linemen, I was going to be happy. I did want Wirfs over Becton, but I do definitely see the lore of Becton. The guy, you can't teach size. That's the thing. The dude's 6'7", 370 pounds or something crazy like that. You can't teach that. Now, if that's the guy that's going to be protecting Sam Darnold, I think Becton, frame-wise, has the type of frame that could be, or has the type of potential that a Jonathan Ogden had. Now, will he reach that potential? I don't know, but I like the swing. I think you're taking a lot of high upside guys. I think Mims is a very high upside guy. I think Ashton Davis is very similar in that respect. Perriman, a very high upside guy. I think you're seeing Douglas make calculated risks at positions that he knows he can try to take a swing at.
Well, I love Mims. I watched your draft reaction, right? And your draft reaction
I loved it.
Is how I felt. I remember you just threw your earbuds on the ground and you yelled.
Oh, man, I was like, oh! I got stuck. I pulled up I touched my earbud. This is cool. I have these Google Buds right now, and I accidentally started playing the theme music in the background. I didn't know I could do that. Now I could not click on the song. Sorry. But yeah, no, I love it. That's why I got the earbuds, because I yanked my head up and I yanked my computer with it. And I was like, ow! This, you gotta be kidding me. But I was so excited for the Mims pick.
That's it. That was exactly how I felt inside. And I'm like, that's exactly how I feel inside. You just represented how I feel.
Well, that's just it. I try to show my emotions on my sleeve. And whether that's it's not always a good thing. The Ja'Kai Polite thing wound up biting me on the ass. But I'll always try to shoot straight with you guys. Thank you so much, Eli, for calling in. Ejected from the cockpit. I love the chicken thing. The chicken and the... Oh, wow. Man, we are at the end of our show. Holy smokes. All right, guys. I'm going to pick a winner for our raffle for tonight. Let's go over. Let's go to the tape. All right. Let's see. Give me a number 1 through 3. You know what? I'm gonna jot these down. I had some sticky notes here. Where did these sticky notes go? I love me some sticky notes. One down. There we go. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna write some names down. You know what? Let's go a little random to it. You guys keep commenting in the chat. I'm gonna pick one of the guys in the chat as well, and then I'm gonna rattle off some things, and you guys are going to pick the winner. Let's see. We got a 3, a 2, a 2, a 2. All right, let's look. What's that? 6, 9. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, I got 2 names written down right now. Now I'm going to pick a name in the chat. Let's see, what do I want? You know, everyone's commenting right now, but let's see who commented back up here at the top of the page. Let's see who we got. Okay, I got another one. Got another one here. All right, guys. I have 3 names written down on this pad. 3 names. Let me scroll back down to the bottom. I need you guys to pick a number 1 through 3. Whichever number has the most votes, I'm going to scratch off. And then we're going to move to the final 2. It's going to be like an elimination kind of thing. All right, we got a 1, we got a 2, we got a 2. Got a few 69s in there. All from the same guy. That's almost like a number 1 through 3, but not quite. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, 2 is going to be the one that gets crossed off. 2 is crossed off. All right, now I need to pick 1 or 3. 1 or 3. What is the number? We're going to say after Noah Jets fans comment. Let's see that. Ooh, Noah says, I got an idea, Ryan. Before every Jet game on Sunday morning, you should do a 20-minute live stream and give your predictions and things to look out for that week. Ooh, that's a good idea. I think I'll probably do a pre- and post-game at some point. Ooh, am I picking 3 or am I picking 1? I don't remember what I said. Let's do, we'll go 1. Because one is the person that actually answered the question. So, Mansa, you are going to be our winner of today. Mansa. Boom. Mansa. Reach out to me on the Jets Discord. You have won your shot at You have won a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. So reach out to me on the Jets Discord, and I'll get your information, and I'll send you something out there. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It has been a blast. Let's see if I can start this music again. This is pretty cool. Oh, there we go. That's pretty neat. Oh, man, I like these headbuds. Earbuds? Guys, it's been a lot of fun talking with you guys. We have the Talkin' Jets panel coming back tomorrow, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Me, Matt O'Leary, and Green Bean will be back here with you, answering all your Jet questions, just kicking it, trying to get back into the groove. We have to talk about the CJ Mosley stuff. I know Green Bean was dying to talk some CJ Mosley last week, and the fact that we couldn't do it just crushed him. So, guys, make sure you tune in for that tomorrow. This is Jets Talk, signing off. J-E-T-S!